Today, we're here to announce federal criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U. Mr. Henley is a fugitive, and he is currently wanted by federal law enforcement.
What to do with the business is, people, it's your boy That Way with Jack Travis. Jack Travis to be precise, man. Now, you know how we do, you know how we doing it. Back in the thing again, you understand me, man. Back around here one more time to bring y'all some interesting news, some interesting developments I ran across earlier today. I actually went live about it at the time, man, because I just kind of wanted to get out in front of this thing real quick. And now I'm going to put together a little more cohesive show about this thing, right? We're all familiar with the one Nipsey Hussle, right? Of course, legendary figure out here in the hip hop world. Huge figure out there in LA on the gang scene, rolling 60s, all this, that, and third. We know that. We know he was gunned down by one Eric Holder here a number of years ago at the age of 33 years old. There were some rumblings at the time about a fella by the name of Big U. Big U is a, I guess, legendary gang figure out there in LA. Part of the Crip set. But there were some rumblings about him and Eric Holder, the shooter of Nipsey Hussle, and what kind of dealings they had prior, and some conspiracy theories about what may have occurred, and where that hit, if it was a hit, and did it come from Big U, this, that, and the third. Whack 100 had some things to say about it, and Loose Cannon opined on some comments that Big U made like 30 minutes before the murder. He says that Big U called him and said that Nip had been shot, and that was 30 minutes before it even occurred.
Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yeah, and
you
we
like
were just talking on regular. So it's like at the end of the day, I didn't even think about it because
you don't even warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so fucked up. It'd be like they be hot one minute, then they be cold the next minute, and then they be lukewarm. Like you
and
just
30 minutes after you get out the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
Yep, he hit me a little bit too early because the homie Shitty double back 3 times. You hear what I'm saying? And first he shot him, boom, go into the alley, came back and shot him, boom. It wasn't good enough, and then he came back and he shot him again. But now it's like
how did he know?
Yeah, no, but
that's crazy.
It's deep. So it's like I don't know who to trust.
Now let me ask you a question. I heard this. I don't know how true it is. I heard that Shitty and Nipsey had a fight.
Yeah, they had. They had a fight like a week before that. When they had a fight, Shitty ain't known for fighting.
Yeah, not at all.
He known for doing the other things. So at the end of the day, it's like Nipsey beat him up. Nipsey is what's like 6'4", 6'5". Shitty is like 5'5", 5'6". You know what I'm saying? Like frails, like.
Just all type of things. I've got a show earlier some months back going into that because some more details that came out during Black Sam had an interview and he spoke on some things, and that kind of sparked some commentary from again Whack 100, and so some other stories started to come out, you know what I'm saying? So now remember the names that I mentioned. I just mentioned Big U, I mentioned Loose Cannon. There's also a guy by the name of Brick Baby. If you watch No Jumper, Adam 22's show, then you'll be familiar with who Brick Baby is. You dig what I'm saying? Now all 3 of these guys are wrapped up in this here Operation Drawdown. Now this happened out there in LA earlier today. You know what I'm saying? About 19 individuals. Now, we've got a video to watch, and the law enforcement officials are going to fill you in with all of the details or a gist of them before I have to read out the whole write-up in the LA Times. But 19 individuals, like I said, including Big U, Loose Cannon, and Brick Baby. Now, those are some associations that I'm not really sure how they all come together, but I'll speak about it a little more after we get to this press conference. Press conference is about 5 minutes long, so let them hit the stage and tell us what's really going on with this thing, man. I'll be back in a second.
Joe McNally, the acting United States Attorney here in Los Angeles. Today, we're here to announce federal criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise. An enterprise engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies. Mr. Henley and several other individuals linked to him and his criminal enterprise were charged in a criminal complaint with federal racketeering conspiracy. Mr. Henley is a fugitive, and he is currently wanted by federal law enforcement. Other individuals linked to his criminal enterprise were arrested today, approximately 10 defendants who are charged in various indictments. Again, Mr. Henley is a fugitive. 4 defendants are in state custody and will be transferred into federal custody, and we are still seeking Mr. Henley and another fugitive. The Department of Justice's top priority is eliminating violent crime caused by criminal street gangs and organized crime. These organizations cause a tremendous amount of harm in our communities, and today's arrests are part of our office's efforts, FBI, IRS, LAPD, the team you see up here, to make our communities safer and rid our streets of these criminal street gangs, including ones operated by violent felons like Mr. Henley, who are posing as savvy businessmen and community leaders, but in the end are violent criminals. The affidavit filed with the criminal complaint alleges that Mr. Henley operated Big U Enterprises, a mafia-like organization that utilized Mr. Henley's stature and long-standing association with the Crips criminal street gang and other gangs here in Los Angeles to intimidate businesses and individuals in our communities. I want to stress that the allegations here in the complaint are allegations only, and the defendants are presumed innocent until proven otherwise. Let me talk a little bit about Mr. Henley and the street gang here. As I said, Mr. Henley is a widely known leader within the early 60s. He rose to prominence in that gang decades ago, and he has since been a fixture on the internet, talk shows, and podcasts, all things that law enforcement have looked at closely as part of this investigation. He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles, funding a South LA-based charity, developing options, which purports to help at youth risk escape gang life and escape the perils of gangs in high crime areas. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and the criminals that enabled him. For example, Mr. Henley engaged in a murder of a musician signed to his label in 2021 and dumped the victim's body in Las Vegas off of the I-15 freeway. He then attempted to evade and obstruct the investigation into the murder, including ordering witnesses not to speak with law enforcement. Henley's criminal enterprise also engaged in other crimes, including transporting prostitutes across state lines, extorting strip clubs, marijuana dispensaries, and other businesses, and fraudulently applying for COVID loans in the form of a business relief loan. On that application, Mr. Henley falsely stated that his music label, Unique Music, operated at a $200,000 profit in 2019 and was entitled to government assistance, despite the reality that the company had operated at a loss and was ineligible for such relief. Finally, Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes, and businesses to his charity, Developing Options, which, as I said, purports to give South LA at-risk youth alternatives to gang violence, drugs, and other criminal activity. Henley used this charity as a front. He used it to conceal his fraudulent activities, his criminal enterprises activities, and evade detection from law enforcement. If convicted on the racketeering conspiracy, He and his co-conspirators face approximately a 20-year federal prison sentence. I want to thank our federal law enforcement partners, our state law enforcement partners who brought about the result here today. The Los Angeles Metropolitan Gang Task Force from the FBI. It's comprised of FBI agents, LAPD officers, IRS Criminal Investigation, U.S. Department of Justice Inspector General's Office, Los Angeles Police Department, the North Las Vegas Police Department. This case is a great example of state and federal law enforcement working together to address harm from a criminal enterprise. I also want to thank our prosecutors, Assistant U.S. Attorneys Kevin Butler and Jenna McCabe, for their diligence and dogged determination in this case. With that, I'll turn it over to our next speaker, FBI Special Agent Charge Ted Knox.
Yes, it appears that karma may have come for one Eugene Henley Jr., Big U, as otherwise known. You dig what I'm saying now? You heard the sheriff that kind of detailed a couple of things, man, and he spoke on this murder out in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And I've definitely got some details to read about that. But before I get there, we'll just stop on a couple of things out of the LA Times article. Well, I guess we'll go up here first. As part of Henley's purported grip on Los Angeles, his alleged victims were required to check in with Henley before arriving in the city in order to obtain protection, according to the 107-page federal complaint unveiled Wednesday. Henley, 58, allegedly extorted professional athletes and musicians, the complaint said, whose business interests were not always legitimate. Following a years-long FBI investigation, federal authorities have accused Henley of kidnapping and fatally shooting a young rapper in the face and leaving his body in the Las Vegas desert over perceived disrespect in directing the robbery of an unlicensed LA marijuana dispensary that had stopped making extortion payments. There's a paragraph going down that says Henley has also allegedly defrauded companies, donors, athletes, and celebrities, including professional basketball player Draymond Green and former NBA MVP Shaquille O'Neal. Like, damn, man, you can't be getting over on Shaq, man. Shaq the dude, bro. Don't do Shaq fucked up. All right, pursuing them to donate to his charities and later allegedly transferring the money into his own bank accounts. He's accused of fraudulently obtaining funds from the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program overseen by the LA Mayor's office. The nonprofit was allotted $2.35 million in the city from July 1, 2018 to June 30, 2023, according to the complaint. Now, that's a weird stat because it goes on to say that now that they're looking into it, it appears that his nonprofit failed to meet any, if any, of the requirements in order to be a viable business, but he was allowed to operate for 5 years, man. And here we go. A couple of people named Henley, his alleged right-hand man, Sylvester Robinson, 59, and trusted Lieutenant Mark Martin, 50, are accused of violating the RICO Act. Federal authorities have also charged Termaine Williams, aka Loose Cannon, with robbery. Armani Aflehe, aka Money, with transporting an individual to engage in prostitution, and Frederick Blanton Jr. and Tiffany Hines with bank fraud. All but Henley are in custody, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in L.A. Loose Cannon. We'll wrap all of that up here at the end. Let's talk about this murder, man, out there, man. This is a wild story. It says 5 days before his killing in January 2021, Rayshawn Williams recorded a diss song 5 days before his killing. In this affidavit, Rusa said he believed Williams' diss song was about Henley, whose independent record label, Unique Music, was representing the 21-year-old rapper. It's unclear whether Henley had heard the diss lyrics prior to the killing, according to the complaint. In the diss song, Williams referred to Henley as the bro that makes some money, Rusa wrote. Williams rapped that he himself might get shot in the face for thinking it's funny. He mentioned a .38 revolver with no trace. Las Vegas police found Williams' body in a ditch near a landfill on January 25th. He'd been shot in the face with a revolver that left no shell casings. Williams is only identified by his initials in the complaint, but the Times was able to confirm his name through Las Vegas news reports and social media posts. It goes on to say that Unique Music paid to fly Williams from California to Las Vegas in January 2021 and put him up in the Airbnb, according to the complaint. His family said Henley had coached the young rapper in football since he was young. Williams was supposed to spend a week at a recording studio and record a song a day, but he missed some days. When Williams didn't show up at the studio on January 23rd, investigators say Henley and Robinson drove from LA to Las Vegas to confront him. A friend of Williams identified only as CA recounted that Henley arrived at the Airbnb about 2 a.m. on January 24th. Henley asked why Williams hadn't showed up to the studio. CA told the authorities. Williams claimed that he didn't have a ride. I believe that RW wasting the time, thereby disparaging Henley's name and Big U's Enterprise's reputation and potentially flouting that disrespect with the lyrics of this song, led to a dispute, Russo wrote. Henley arrived at the studio about 7 p.m. Williams arrived a couple hours after and recorded until midnight, witnesses told authorities. About 12:30 a.m., Henley left the studio. The dark gray Lexus that he and Robinson had driven to the studio was no longer there. Shortly before 1 a.m., Russo wrote Henley's phone stopped reporting location data and didn't start again until about 2:15 a.m. Surveillance footage at the Airbnb where Williams was staying captured a dark gray or silver sedan arriving about 1:13 a.m. According to the complaint, Williams got out of the passenger side of the car, went inside, and returned a few minutes later with his suitcase, despite the fact that the Airbnb was rented for another day, and he was not set to leave on the flight until the following day. About 3 a.m., a witness said Henley returned to the studio alone. The witness said Henley appeared to be drenched in either sweat or water. Henley told the witness he was coming back from the gym. Hours later, on January 25th, about 9 a.m., Williams' body was found in the ditch. He had died of multiple gunshot wounds. Authorities compared DNA collected from Williams' body to Henley's DNA profile. The result was inconclusive, but Henley could not be excluded as a suspect, according to the complaint. Following the homicide, Henley allegedly arranged for recording equipment from the studio to be removed and surveillance video to be destroyed. Russo believed that the footage would have shown an altercation between Henley and Williams the night of the killing, and at minimum, Henley and RW leaving the studio shortly before RW's murder. A month after Williams' death, the FBI LA Metropolitan Task Force on Violent Gangs launched an investigation into Big U Enterprise and its association with the Rolling 60s. Nasty work, bro, dealing with the feds. Them boys 99%, man. And with all of these big time charges, it's not looking good. Let's read up on these check-ins, man, because there's some interesting initials in this write-up, and I'm just like, who is this guy? Sounds familiar. In 2022, Russo wrote, the FBI interviewed a cooperating witness. CW1 is his initials. CW, cooperating witness. Now, you could say cooperating witness 1, but I think the CW in this instance may stand for a person that we know out here that is willing to tell you. As a matter of fact, we just saw a video. I guess I probably need to do a video on that. We just saw a video from him last week in his first foray in the snitching game. You dig what I'm saying? But I won't call no names. We'll let you all speculate and put it together. But again, identified only as CW1, who claimed that rap artists, athletes, and other visitors needed to pay Henley a fee when they came to the city. Okay. CW1 told authorities about a large buy-in dice game in LA around June 2019. The game involved a professional boxer identified only as AB. How many professional boxers you know with the initials AB? In fact, I know one he goes by. That is his name, AB. I know another guy, AB, but he's a football player. I digress. I continue. His associates and several NBA players. According to CW1, AB and his associates fixed the game, cheating the NBA players out of millions of dollars using teased dice. After the game, Russo wrote, Henley directed associates to rough up AB, who had not checked in with Henley, and to get the money back from him on behalf of the NBA players. Multiple members of the Rolling Sixties allegedly arrived and were used to press AB. Henley stepped in. CW1 told authorities because he was involved in and or would approve of any dice games or similar events, such as parties involving large sums of money and prominent NBA players and celebrities in the city. CW, AB. Who do you all know that have these initials, man? And so now that's pretty much all I want to read. There's a lot more written up about it, but that's pretty much where we'll stop right here. And as I said, man, those are like some really serious charges. You dig what I'm saying? And maybe those are the chickens coming home to roost. But it's an interesting. I look at this thing, man, and we mentioned the name Loose Cannon. Now, if you're familiar with Loose Cannon swear to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? We just saw him here about a month or so ago, pistol whipping, putting his hands on some guys outside the no jumper facilities up there. Who knows exactly what that was all about, but he said he's a demonstrator out here, and we saw him demonstrating. I guess as much as you could give a guy putting on the demonstration that's got a gun in his hand and the other guy doesn't have a gun, so maybe they're scared of getting shot, so whatever fisticuffs you put on them are just kind of default blows. But we saw that. We've always heard him online calling people sweetie and saying that they don't want it with him. He really is a demon out here. And it's so odd that he's wrapped up in the case with Big U because, again, if you know anything about Loose Cannon, he's been online calling Big U Big Useless and Sweetie and Cream Puff and all that, like, for the last handful of years. Apparently, the lines got crossed behind the Nipsey Hussle killing. You dig what I'm saying? Because Loose Cannon let Loose Cannon tell it. And it's so crazy that they would be wrapped up in something together, bro. But the streets is treacherous, bro. You never know who is official and who is not or what have you. But from what I understand, Loose Cannon has been on No Jumper saying 30 minutes before Nipsey was actually shot and killed, Big U called me and told me that Nipsey had been killed. And he 30 minutes later it actually happened. Big U swear it didn't happen. Loose Cannon swears it does. Loose Cannon seemed to be a properly vetted individual when it comes to speaking the truth. But you look at this situation, it's like I don't know how lines are crossed. Because again, they look to be sworn enemies. You know what I'm saying? So he looking for you. Like you don't want it with him or all that. But it's like, so what part of the business were y'all doing together? Now I understand that prior to the lines getting crossed up, but again, this is supposed to have been years ago. Apparently Loose Cannon was supposed to have been like his go-getter. You would send him on missions and he was with it. You know what I'm saying? I heard a story about you sending him to go impress YG and them while they was shooting a video. I don't want to quote what part, but they were shooting a video in some part of the Crib hood, and YG is a blood, and apparently Big U sent Loose Cannon over there to do this dirty work and get him up out of there, what have you, extort him for some money, what have you. So, but again, Loose is supposed to be super homeboys with Nip, so when the thing went down with Nip and Big U and Eric Holt and all that being involved, maybe that's when the lines got crossed. Okay, cool. Well, how did they come back together now that y'all are all involved in this case? Now, could the laws just be putting together a couple different cases under one umbrella? Sure, they could, but they've got all three of those pictures. They've got Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, Big U. And you'll see across Loose Cannon and Brick Baby, they have in custody. They got them. Big U and this white guy down in the corner are the only ones that haven't been apprehended right now. You dig what I'm saying? It's a wild look, bro. It's a wild look. But like I said, playing with them feds, man. Wide-ranging investigation. They got a lot of people there. I see 2 females. So it's sort of like regardless of what you're actually guilty of that they can pin on you, that's what RICO is about. If we can get somebody on something and know that you had involvement with them or even get them to say that you did, we got you. And I see these 2 females on there. You know what pretty much happened when they get in there and put 25 years in front of their face. They giving up the operation. And then like I said, you got 16 other individuals that would like to shorten their sentence of this, that, and the third. Then you got your guy down here in the corner, Brian Mera. I don't know if he's a white guy, Hispanic, or what have you, but he may have the skin to win, so they may give him an opportunity to. But he's not banged up either. I wonder why, because they didn't mention him being on the run. So you never know. He's probably the inside guy, bro. But this has been a year-long investigation. The feds don't just pop up with some BS. When they come, they come correct, bro. They put that case together in a way where it is, you've got like a 1% chance of beating them, but you know, a lot of people have got questions around Big U, man, surrounding the beloved Nipsey Hussle. And if, in fact, you know, the rumors are true and he has something to do with it, then no one's got sympathy for the people finally catching up to him. I don't know the politics of California gang life and culture and all of that, man. I just opine on things from the outside as we run across them. But I do know that happened today. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there'll be more updates if they happen to run up on you, or he continue to run or what have you. You know, we'll bring you some updates, man. But as of right now, that's where we are. But until then, this has been That Way with Jack Travis, man. I'll get it y'all soon. Blah.